Keep us the God of nations to the God to the Gambia ever true. Yes, good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, good night, depending on where an individual is. I greet you all, and I say to all of you, Assalamu alaikum, in the name of Allah. And I'm very grateful, I'm very happy that you're joining me once again. Yesterday I was, yesterday I was on, and then today also, which is actually not normal. I used to make it at least once or twice a week. But you know, there is a lot of things to talk about in our country, and to be quite candid, sometimes you are even worried or bothered where you're gonna start. And but today I came specially after thanking all of you, after saying Allah Barakah, that you join me, that we say our ideas to fulfill our promise that we will not keep quiet. We will talk about issues pertaining to our country. We are not saying that we have the best ideas, because some of you listening, most of the time, the people listening are the people who even know more about the other people talking. I mean, I know people are observing, and then they know better than what I'm talking about. But if we decide to come, that's why we say thank you. There's a lot to talk about. Today especially is going to be our former Attorney General, Tambebou. We're going to talk about Ba today. I know most of the people, some people will say, why are people talking about Tambebou? He's working, he decided to resign, so what's the problem? You know, some people may take it negatively, some people may take it positively, but you see, when we say we need New Gambia, that entails a lot. It entails a lot. That means everybody can talk about anything he wants to talk about. In as much as you are not going against people, in as much as you're not insulting people, in as much as you are not going against people's right, I think there should not be any problem to talk about issues and talk about people. Because you will all agree with me, Tambebou actually was a public figure, and he himself understood that. And what happened is, when Tambebou came, we were happy. We were happy, we were talking about him, he's young, exposed. We were really happy about him. And when he leaves also, when he leaves, I think we also have the right to talk about him. Now what is important is, what are we going to talk about him? But before I go further, I will take this opportunity to thank Tambebou for his services to our country, to our nation, as our Attorney General after the changes. I will thank him for his service. And then I will wish him a wonderful future in his career, in his professional career. And I'm really very happy that he got, though it's not confirmed, because I don't think he himself said about anything about it. But from rumors that he has a very lucrative job with the United Nations. I am really very happy about that, for his personal development. I'm happy for his family also. And I'm very, very grateful that he served our nation for the last up to almost 4 years now. All what he has done. And I wish him a wonderful journey, good health with his family. But I also take this opportunity to express my disappointment. I wrote it in Facebook before. I said, Tambebou, until we know exactly what precipitated Tambebou's resignation, if it is all done only depending on personal development, I wrote it in my Facebook, if it only depends on the personal development, the professional development of Tambebou, then I think Tambebou has cheated the country. And I am disappointed. I hope I will not be understood wrongly. Tambebou is one of the few ministers in the Barrow government who I can make reason, I can rationalize. I can sometimes understand his actions, even though I do not agree with some of his actions. But when he does it, I could see professionalism, I could see coordination, I could see organization, I could see strategy in his actions. And I believe personally that Ba loved that country, and then Ba wants to do everything good for that country. But his resignation at this moment in time, if only I will accept it and I will not be disappointed. If he knew that President Barrow was going to dismiss him, I think if I were him also, I may also resign. But I'm a person who I believe in not giving up on my country, but if my country gives up on me, I don't mind, but I'm a person who doesn't believe in giving up on your country, but depending on the situations. So if only the president doesn't want to dismiss Tambebou, or if Tambebou knows that the president is interfering in his job to an extent that he could not fulfill his assignments, then I think he's right to resign. Let the president select somebody else to do his duties as his Attorney General. These are the only two things that I think at this moment Tambebou's resignation is fair to us as people and citizens of that country. If only the president wants to dismiss him, if I were him, I will wait until the president dismisses me, because that means I haven't given up on my country. I will do it that way. But we are the same. We are not the same people. If the president is also interfering in his job directly, in a way that he could not perform his duties, then I think Ba also has the right to resign. But I am telling you, my fellow Gambians, if Ba's resignation is based on only his personal and professional development, I think then Ba cheated the country, and I am disappointed. And I will not be fair to myself, and I will not be fair to Ba if I cannot express my views, what I think about his action. And I think the Ba is not fair to the government also. If only he decides to resign because he has a good job, a good paying job, an international job, as people are saying, I don't know. But if that is the only reason that he's resigned, then he's not also fair to the government of the Gambia. He's not fair to Gambian people, and he's not fair to the country. And I have my reasons. You see, as I said, when we said New Gambia entails New Gambian. And New Gambian means new mentality, new way of thinking, new way of analyzing. We have to critically analyze our situations. And everybody has to come out and express his ideas, his mind. And we all listen. We can criticize. We can say to people, like I am saying, I'm talking here, maybe I stand to be corrected. Maybe what I'm trying to say here is not correct. But what is important to me is for people to understand that I am happy that Ba got a new job. These are my reasons. Let's start from the beginning. You know, the Gambian people struggled under Yahya Jammeh for almost more than 20 years. Of course, there are a lot of people who are in the struggle that people, Gambian people knows, who are every day trying to dislodge Yahya Jammeh. So, by example, all the political parties, United Democratic Party, DOI, you know, you have NRP, and all those political parties have been struggling to depose Yahya Jammeh democratically. But okay, also there are other people also who thought dislodging Yahya Jammeh cannot be from democratic. In a sense, I'm just trying to say that the struggle, there are people we know who really contributed in the struggle, and we know people whose names are very well known in the struggle. But if we are fair to ourselves, Tambebou's name was not heard. To be quite candid, that doesn't also mean that he hasn't done anything. You know, that doesn't mean that he hasn't also done anything to help the struggle. But we should be fair to ourselves. Tambebou's name was not heard during the struggle. That is the fact. There are a lot of people whose names are not heard during the struggle. Doesn't mean that they did not do anything, because we all contributed in our different ways and different means. So Ba's name was not heard during the struggle. He, like some other Gambians, he was busy working. That's fair, that is good. You know, doing his professional career, that is wonderful, that is good. But we never heard of him. So when the change came, at the beginning of the change, I think the latter part of the 2016, I think Ba was involved with the coalition, which is wonderful. He's a Gambian, he's entitled to do anything that he wants to do for his country. I support it and I'm not against it. So when Ba came back to Gambia, whether his contract was finished or whether he has resigned for another job, I don't know. But I'm with the belief that his contract was finished. And then he came back to the country. He took up some helping hand. He gave a helping hand to the coalition. And he was appointed as Attorney General of the Gambian, of our country. Which I felt, at the moment I felt, oh, these are people who nobody heard of them. Don't we have good lawyers and good legal minds who can take care of our justice system? Why are they appointing Ba? But I came to realize that I think it is also not bad for them to appoint Tambebou. What I mean by that is, while during the 22 years, before the 22 years or during the 22 years, we can all agree that I don't think Ba got any problem with the Gambian government or his family members. I don't think so. And Ba's name was not heard. So it will be fair for the president to employ an independent somebody who has no dog in the fight. Because I had a problem with Yahya Jammeh. I was detained for more than 3 years, 1 month, 8 days. I know how I suffer in Mile 2 Central Prison. I know how my family suffered. So if President Barrow should have appointed me as the Attorney General, I will have a dog in the fight. So I came to understand and said, look, this is a good thing. Tambebou, an independent person who has no problem with Yahya Jammeh, who was not hurt in the struggle. It looks like he has no dog in the fight. So for him to be at the head of an independent ministry, I think that is good. Yes, that is what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of people contributed immensely. I hope people don't understand me wrong. A lot of people contributed immensely in silence. We don't know them. I'm not saying Ba did not do anything in the struggle. That I did not say. But I'm also rational. I understood that even if he does something under the table or he did not do something, I think it was wise for the coalition to appoint him as the Attorney General, because in this case then he is an independent person who is going to take care of an independent institution like the Minister of Justice. I became rational. I'm a rational person. I'm happy about that Ba handled the Minister of Justice. We were happy. Personally, I was happy. His young age, he's of my age. I think we all completed in the same time, the same year, our high school or all A levels. We are of the same age. Don't look at his white beard. Like, I also have a little bit of white beard. So I was really happy that the president, the coalition gave him an independent institution, because we need somebody in that institution who could be independent. And I believe, Ba with his age, young age, and his exposure internationally, I feel that he is a perfect fit for that position. And that was seconded even by some senior members of the government, like Hussein Dabo, who has a real confidence in Ba Tambebou. I had this confidence. But that doesn't mean that I did not have disagreement with most of Ba Tambebou's actions. Okay, so we can pass the stage. He took the Attorney General job. At the beginning, I was like, why? But later I understood. I came to rationalize, to say, yeah, we need such type of person. And with his exposure in the international arena, I think he'll be able to take care of a dysfunctional institution. So that was good. And we were happy. And let me tell you, to be quite candid, most of the time, most of the decisions I did not agree with Ba. But I believe, as I told you, when I see his decisions, when he takes actions, I could see some form of ethics in it. And I could see some form of he's a good person. And I could see that, there is some form of professionalism, even though I did not agree, but I can rationalize. I can reason with his actions. And even if it is not a good action, good decision, but I can decide and say, okay, maybe because of this he did it. Not like other ministers like Ahmad Ba, who will stand at a political rally, a whole minister, and start saying, what did Mandinkas think who they are? Or you have the former interior minister who will stand at the political rally and say, we are going to put hot water on people. Ba Tambebou is not such type of people, which I like from him, to be quite candid. And then, a lot of decisions he took. And you will agree with me, he has taken some of the most important decisions of the coalition transitional government. One, he brought in the TRRC. His formula is somehow foreign to us. Because after the changes, what we are thinking about is, the people who did wrong things should go to prison, should go to court. We should take them to court, and then the junglers, the killers, the thieves, the money launderers, they should also all be punished. This is my own feeling. I had the feeling that now we have made some change, we have made a change, and during these 22 years, a lot of things has happened. So that means everybody should answer to what you have done. Everybody should narrate your story, and every family should have the right to take people to court, and everybody who does bad things should have the consequence. This is my mentality. This was my feeling. And I believe this is the majority of the Gambians. This is how they were thinking after the changes. And Ba came with another model, which is an international one. He got that experience from another country like Rwanda. But what Ba failed to understand at the moment, my feeling was, what Ba failed to understand, that Rwanda and Gambia are not the same. No, my brother Sarian, I'm not saying that Ba did not contribute anything to the struggle. That I'm not saying. I hope you understand my situation. I'm saying there are thousands of people who contributed more than some of the people who are even talking, but nobody heard about them. I know that. That's why I am not definitive, and I will never be definitive. I'm not that type of person. I will not say Ba did not contribute anything. Maybe Ba contributed more than everybody in that struggle. But the reality is what I'm talking about. We didn't know about him. And that was also positive, because he happened to be somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight. This is my feeling. I hope you understand me. So where was I? I was saying Ba brought in a model, maybe from Rwanda. And it works because Rwanda is now developing. I disagree with him. Personally, I felt that you did something wrong, you should pay for it. This is the model that we should employ in the Gambian system. Junglers who you kill people, you should go to court, and if you're supposed to be in prison, you go to prison. You embezzle our money, ministers, You go to court and narrate your story. If you're guilty, you go to prison. This was my feeling. But as time goes on, I happen to rationalize Ba Tambedou's model. That is, I had this feeling that Ba is not thinking about everybody. Ba is thinking about the bigger head, that is Yaya Jammeh. How are we going to get Yaya Jammeh behind bars? How are we going to get Yaya Jammeh's properties to the government, his looted property to the government, sold them, and then the victims are paid, are compensated? I said, how can you get Yaya Jammeh? Because most of these disastrous things, the killings, the embezzlement, Yaya himself was not doing it personally with his own hand. He was doing it through other people. So, if we say we arrest somebody and he knows that we're going to take him to court and then he may end up in prison, and then we wanted him to tell the truth about Yaya Jammeh, that means he's not going to tell the truth. And then things like, I'm not a lawyer, but things like murder, things like murder, you have to get good witnesses, you have to get first-hand witnesses for you to be able to get the culprit. So if Yaya Jammeh was the one who was doing all these killings and all these things, but he's doing it through people, if you have a model who says these people who were doing the things will be imprisoned if they narrate their story, so that we can get Yaya Jammeh, then we will not get witnesses. So this is why I became to rationalize Ba Tambedou's model of TRRC. I said I think it's a good thing. We have to leave the witnesses to come and narrate their story with the belief that and guarantee that we will not jail them after telling the truth, so that we can get witnesses in the future to be able to get Yaya Jammeh behind bars. This is why I ended up rationalizing with Ba Tambedou's model of TRRC, and I understood it, and I was said it's a good thing, I think. And then Ba came with Jaiteh Commission, which was wonderful. And Ba led the CRRC because it went through the Minister of Justice. CRC, that is Constitutional Reform Commission. That was wonderful. So Ba brought these styles, which at the end of the day, I became rational, and I happened to say, okay, I think it's a good thing. Let us do it this way, so that we can get Yaya Jammeh, so that we can reconcile, so that the people can repent about what they have done. Then we will be able to forgive them and we move forward. I happen to rationalize with it, and I happen to accept it. But yes, all those commissions are instituted. The Jaiteh Commission, the TRRC, the constitutional reform, and all those activities that is situations which Ba decide to institute. And this brings me to where I get disappointed. Because in as much as we should be happy about our brother who got success in his professional career, we should be also true to ourselves and be realistic.